almost a year ago. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because, like, I guess it's just been a while. It's definitely been a while. So, if you guys don't know what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to make an ultimate custom night on Scratch. Uh, and I started this project about a year ago, and I took a really long break. So here we are, and I will be finishing it in the next like couple videos or so. But just letting you know, I am back and trying to, grind this thing out. So last time we left on is when we made Shadows AI, and I wanted to see some of your things, but I couldn't really see it because I've been gone for a year. But anyways, uh, we're gonna make ourselves the Moon AI and get a new camera in with Sun's AI, and we'll see how we go from there. So for Moon's AI, we're gonna import our character for the whole thing, and whatever you guys are doing, it doesn't matter which character. But if you have a character coming through the left side of your doorway or your right side of your doorway, I think this is the video for you guys to use. So for this specific reason, we're going to name this sprite moon.ai, right? And basically what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and make our costumes for him. And so how we're going to do that is we're going to have to make a stagnant one where he's all happy and like he doesn't have a problem. And then he has one where he's like getting angry, and that's how we're going to do it. And there's another one where he's about to attack, so he's about to like poise for attacking position or something like that. And that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to cut to when that happens. Okay, so now that we've done that and we have uh, made our three costumes to show that he's cool, he's ready to attack, and he's like getting there, we're gonna go ahead and go to our code and write in all the code. So basically, it's the same thing as Shadow when he went to the right side, but instead of the right side, we're gonna go to the left side. So there is this thing in Scratch that you could just take it and you could just copy code to the other side. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do here, and we're going to tweak it a bit so that way we can get all the goods on it. So pretty much done over here. So we can go to our Moon AI and we can go ahead and clean up these blocks because they're all going to be clumped up. So basically, you just want to make sure that everything's to what it is supposed to be. So if you want to show Moon to its regular like picture to where it's supposed to be shown on your camera, you want to go ahead and change this a bit so that way it doesn't show up on your other AI's camera. So for Shadow, it's showed as camera A1A, but for me, it's going to be 2B for Moon, and I don't know what it is for you. It has to be like the right hallway though. So and we're gonna go ahead and change our variables to our set variable for our second character or our character to the right side and show this. So basically, that's what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna cut to that because it's gonna be a pretty long process. Okay, so now that I've done that, and here's just like a couple of pointers you want to do. So I'm about to just explain the code a bit. So basically, when you're saying when I receive the camera 2B pic, it's basically saying that if I click on this button here, which broadcasts that message, and it receives it, it will show Moon uh, if he has an AI that is greater than 0. So basically, that's basically that piece of code. And when we're over here in this long old piece of code, it's basically saying that whatever the AI of our chosen character is, that's what it's going to do in order for you to, hit the jump scare on it. So down here, when it says if right door equals 0 or if right door equals 1 and all of that, basically what it's saying is that if your guy isn't ready to get if your guy doesn't have his door down by the time that Moon is poised to kill you, or your guy's poised to kill you, then he is going to come into your office and kill you. And if you have it, basically what we're going to say, what message we're going to say is that whatever it is, I am going to broadcast Moon jump scare. So that's going to be like a new a new thing that we're going to be putting in. And if it's to 1, it's just going to switch back right to costume 1 and then rinse, repeat. And all these ones is just to show that it's going to hide as soon as we go to a different one that is not the corresponding one to what it is currently. So that is Moon's AI. But Moon's jump scare is very different. So we're going to go ahead and create a new sprite, and we're going to name it Moon's jump scare, or whatever character jump scare that you are trying to do. I just want y'all to have a little bit of creative mind over here. So basically, for this one, I added a pillow, which is a really good creative touch. So what I'm thinking for my project is that we're gonna use a pillow and use it to edit. You guys can do whatever you want for an animation for a jump scare. It's just really the code that really matters. So I'm gonna go to cut and I'm gonna make the sprites for the jump scare, and I will be right back. Okay, so now that we have our sorry about that. I just stuttered way too much off camera. But anyways, we are going to since we have our sprites and all that down and all our costumes, we can go ahead and head on to our code. So it's basically the same thing as our other code, where basically when you're clicking it, it hides it so that way it doesn't show up when you're doing that. Let's go ahead and do that right now. So it's not really going to show up until it's been shown in the thing. So basically, what we're going to do is go to when we receive Moon's jump scare, then what we're going to do is our long piece of code. So basically, or actually, not really, it's not that long. So we're going to repeat this as many times as we like have costumes. So we have 8 costumes, so 8 - 1 equals 7, and all that, because math. So we're going to go ahead and repeat 7 times the new costume, or the next costume. So, and then what it's going to show is that basically it's just going to come right at you. That's kind of how I said it. So basically, to switch costume to costume 1 is basically just to say that, hey, we're going to have to reel it and try to play it. It's like an animation. And then what we're going to do is a stop all button, because this is going to be the end of the program and all that, and you're going to have to restart the whole thing, right? So basically, when you do that, it's all done. And actually, it's not going to stop all. We're really just going to broadcast another pick. We're gonna say game over screen. I'm pretty sure we don't have one of those, right? Yeah, we didn't make one of those. Okay. So we have a game over screen right now, and that's basically what it's going to broadcast. So basically, if we can go back to Shadow's broadcast, we can also say that to Shadow. Uh, right here. Where is it? Game over screen, right there. So basically, if we take the same thing here, it's the same thing. Basically, the same thing here. And we want to make sure it goes to the front layer. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Where is it? There you go. And put it inside the repeat 7 times so it doesn't go behind anything while it's doing it. It's just to make sure. All right. And now we have our Moon jump scare. So let's go ahead and play test it by putting Moon all 20, and let's go ahead and play it, and go to a 2. And let's go ahead and wait for Moon to do his thing. So here we could see that he's in his dormant phase, and now he's getting angrier. And in a minute here, he's going to start poising to attack. There we go. He's poised to attack, ready to attack. And then in a minute here, he's going to start to the attacking process. Okay. It's any second now. And he's back to normal, which is kind of weird. All right. Oh, I see what I did wrong here. That's my fault. Okay, so basically you got to make sure he shows because he's saying hi to here, so you got to make sure he shows up here. That is my fault. So yeah. So now he's getting angry. He's like about to poise to attack here in a second. Yep, he's ready to attack. And now we wait patiently for his uh, big old pillow to show. All right, something is clearly wrong right now because something's going on. So I'm gonna figure that out and see what happened.
No.
So basically, now that we have our thing, I figured out the problem. It wasn't really a problem at all. It's just that a bug happened, and now we're good. So we're good. So now that we have finished our moon AI, we can go into a more fun sun. Sun AI. Sun's AI is kind of different because he actually shows up on a vent. If we read our description here, he is a vent type of animatronic, and he will kill us with an event thing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make ourselves a new sprite, and we're gonna call that our vent cam. Basically, what that's gonna do is just gonna show us the thing. So we're gonna call it the vent cam animation, actually, because it's more of an animation more than it is an actual thing. So this is basically going to show us our vent cam animation. And you also want to make another sprite called a vent cam button. All right, so now that we have our button, we can go ahead and just go ahead and play. And we can now set it to wherever we want. So my idea is that we set it here on the bottom, along the bottom here, or we actually can just move this around a bit. So we can just put our camera one right down here and move to the bottom instead of putting our vent cam on the bottom, because that would just make everything a little bit confusing, if I'm going to be honest. So yeah. So basically, now that we have our camera on the bottom here, oh, I screwed up. Okay, so now that we have our camera here on the side, I don't know why it's on the bottom. All right, because that's the camera button up. So we wanted to do the same thing for both things. Camera button up and camera button down. We want to put both on the bottom just so that they're all in the same area. Go ahead and straighten that out. So basically, now that we have our camera for that one there, we can basically just put our vent cam button uh, up on the side. So basically, I think for the color, I'm going to personally go with red because, yes. And we're going to give it a 4 outline. It doesn't matter what outline you got as long as it's just a vent cam in general. So let's go ahead and make our vent cam. It's not really anything that's too uh, confusing or too intricate. So basically, all we're just going to do is this just to cover it. And basically, we're just going to go ahead and just put in the text, put it at whatever font we want. For me, I like Pixel, so I'm going to do Pixel. And we're just say vent in black. So now that we did that, we can go ahead and just smack that on our bar here, so that was just not confusing to others. And then we can go ahead and go to our code. Just go ahead and smack that on there. And now we can just go to our code, where basically the same thing as all the other things that we've done so far, where we just, when the flag is clicked, you hide it. But when we like receive the office broadcast, which is right here, it'll show it. And then make it go to the front layer. And then we'll put in another event block where it says when this sprite is clicked, it will broadcast another thing, which is called the broadcast a new message that we'll call vent cam up animation. Basically, for everything else that we have done so far, so we'll say the office here, this camera button here that we put, we're gonna hide them all, pretty much. So for this camera button, we're gonna just say when we receive the fact of the vent door up, the vent door, not the vent door, vent cam up animation, we're gonna go ahead and hide this, and then we'll go ahead and duplicate it, and then get rid of this hide button and say basically a new message that says vent cam down animation. It'll basically just put it down, it'll show it back up and give you the option to press your camera again. So now that we've done that for this one, basically what we can do is we can just go ahead and translate the same thing to our office here, because we also want our office to hide when this happens. So now that we have done that, basically what we can do, we could just go ahead and do this, and it will just get rid of everything. So we'll go ahead and we're going to go ahead and put in our camera here. And basically what we can do is just make our costume for the camera. So we need to make an animation for it to go into, and then we'll go into the actual camera making part. And I'll be right back after making this animation costume. Okay, guys, so now that we have our vent camera animation done, we can go ahead and go to our events and pretty much do the same thing that we did with the jump scares, the camera up thing if you've watched past videos. So when the green flag is clicked, we just go ahead and hide it, and we're only gonna hide it until we get the broadcast of camera up animation, the vent camera up animation. So gonna go to when I receive this, we're gonna go ahead and go to vent cam up animation, and we're gonna go ahead and show it. And then we're gonna make sure it goes to the front layer. So we're gonna go ahead and save that. And then we're gonna go ahead and repeat this however many times you made costumes -1. So it's basically like x minus 1 equals whatever. Y, I guess. I don't know. So we have 44 costumes minus 1, which is 43. We're going to go ahead and repeat this 43 times of next costume. Oh, I put it over. My fault. And we're also going to put the go to front layer thing done. So that's not that bad. So we're also going to go ahead and broadcast this new broadcast where we call vent cam up, and you're actually not going to use vent cam up animation on your camera button. Rather, you're going to just use vent cam up and vent cam down. They're separate broadcasts, but they just make it a little bit more clean and better. So basically what we're going to do here is just going to go and click play, and then when I press this vent cam up animation thing, it's just going to show it and go pretty good. So, yeah. It's going to be pretty slow, to be honest. So, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut some of these out of here. We're going to cut this one out. We're going to cut a couple of these. So that way it just goes faster. It's not that. Now it should go faster. And actually, let's go ahead and make sure that we have our costume always set to costume Uno. And check it. And go ahead and update this. We have 26 costumes, so 26 minus 1 is 25. That way we don't have any repeating. Look at that. And it's done. So we're also going to go here and say, after we do this, we're going to hide it. But when it goes back to office, this is going to go back to showing and going back to the front layer. So we're also going to go ahead and duplicate this sprite, and we're going to call it get vent cam button down. Well, basically, it's going to do the same thing as this, where it says when it receives the vent cam down animation, it's going to show, go to its 44th costume, or 26th, but 44th, whatever. It's going to show itself, and then hold on, over here it's going to say bye or hide, and then it's also going to say hide down here, and then it's just going to be nothing to be broadcast. Or actually, it's going to have to broadcast the office, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And go ahead and broadcast office. Or no, cam down. There we go. And then hide it. And then once that happens, we're going to go all the way back up to our office and say that when it receives the office, yeah, we're going to go ahead and just say office, to be honest, because that's kind of easier. It's less of a hassle. I'm going to say that. And we're going to go to our thing where it always says that. So basically, and over here, we're not going to just do that. We're going to go ahead and take rid of that. And we're going to say set costume. Where is it? It's going to say switch costume right here to, and we'll go to our operators, something -1. It'll be something -1. And the something would be our costume right here. Costume number -1. And then we're going to hide it. So basically what we're going to do here is go ahead and press continue. Or actually, that's in the wrong area. My bad. And when, sorry about that. We're going to go ahead and also copy the same coordinates for the same one, just so that they're in the same place. And so it's 2234. So we're going to do the same thing, 2234. And basically we're just going to go set play. All right. So we're going to go ahead and click on our vent camera. And now it just shows the vent camera. So then we can just do this back down. And it does not work, which don't know why. Go ahead and also broadcast office here. So there's some sort of loophole going on. So basically it's just looping and looping again and again and again and again. So we're going to go ahead and say vent cam down or vent cam down. We're just going to say that. What we're going to say here is just when the thing is clicked here, it's just going to say vent cam down animation or vent cam down. So basically, when it shows, then it's going to hide and show back the office. That's what it should do. And so it should be good now. Actually, we're going to just put this at the top and then put this here, hide it, and then it should hide. And then go back up and then go back down. It should do the same thing each time around. All right. So I don't know what's going on here. When it receives the office, it does not show. It's only when it's clicked. When you receive the vent cam, up animation, then you're going to show, and then you're going to go to the exact coordinates, not 028. It's going to be 22 and 34. And that's what it should show. So basically, if we just go ahead and start here, and it should show here, and then it should show the office as it goes back down. So yeah, that's what it should do. And we're going to do this. We're going to also to vent cam. Okay, and we're also going to intercept this and say that when the vent cam is up, we're going to just say when I receive when vent cam, my fault. Broadcast vent cam up animation. Once it's up, it's going to go ahead and broadcast vent cam up. So when one is blah, blah, blah. Once the vent cam up is also integrated, it's going to say when it receives vent cam up in the first place, it's going to hide it. So basically, when we see this and it goes up, it's going to show us the office before it goes inside the cameras, and it's going to do the same thing when we go back down. So that should do it for that. Now let's go ahead and go down to our Sun AI, Sun's AI, because that's kind of how we did this. But before we do that, we have to go ahead and actually make our vent camera. So we're going to call this vent cam. It should just be one simple thing. It's just going to be a singular map with just little like things everywhere. If you haven't really seen it, in FNaF, here's a picture right there. And basically what it shows you is where the animatronics is following in order for you to do it. So if it goes near the front, you can go ahead and close it, and so it will go back. So what we're going to do is go ahead and fill our color, convert to bitmap, and go do that. It's going to be at 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And it's going to go a little bit slightly darker than it should be. And then I'm going to go back to vector. And we're basically going to go ahead and draw our map. So I'll be right back after drawing that. All right, guys. So now that we have our vent cam like layout here done, then now we can start putting in our AI. Super exciting. But first of all, we got to get to our code. Again. So when our flag is clicked, we're going to go ahead and hide it because we don't want it to show. And once we get the greenness of the thing, we get the greenness of when I receive the camera up, it will go ahead and show itself to the crowd, and it's going to go to the front layer, and basically it's just going to stay like that, pretty much. And we want to also make sure that this guy is going up and also going to the front layer. So basically what we're going to do is just going to show him, and he's going to go to the front layer. So let's see how that works. See if it works in our favor. It does not, because I don't know why. So basically what we're going to have to go do here is we're going to have to repeat this, not forever, but repeat this like 10-ish times, just enough, of going to the front layer. So that way it just makes sure that it's at the front layer and it's not somewhere else. So like that, look at that. Uh-oh. Well, this thing is going to the front layer. So basically what we're going to do is just going to say, go to the front layer, but go backward a layer. No. So that way the vent can show. Look at that. Okay. All right. So basically, hold on. So that's basically the problem where I have no idea what's going on. So basically what we're going to do here is, just repeat it 50 times. So that way it makes sure it's in the front. There we go. And now it works, which is lovely. So when this thing goes up, it's going to do that. And when it goes down, we're pretty much going to do the same Sorry about that. The footage got corrupted for the next one, which I hate it. But basically what we're gonna, oh God, I forgot about that. I set them all to 20. My fault. So basically what we're gonna have to do here is like when we receive that the vent cam is down, we're gonna go ahead and hide the whole thing. Just hide it all, you know. So basically when we get this, and then we're gonna get that, and it's all hidden. We can do it again, and we can do it again. We can do it again. We can do it again. Keep doing it until the end of the earth. It does not matter. It's just gonna keep doing it. So now that we have our vent cam, we can just not touch that. And now we can actually get into our Sun AI, which we love. So we're going to go ahead and make a new sprite named Sun A.I, pretty much. And basically what we're going to do here is just make a Sun AI where he's just like a face. He's just a face. So like something like that. So we're going to go ahead and go to our Sun character here. And like, really, you don't need his bottom half of his body. I mean, like, unless you want to make a full body jump scare, which is something y'all want to do, then you can do that. But for right now, for the time being, we just need to Control C and Control V him into the Sun AI. Because basically, what we're going to do is we're just going to shrink his head, pretty much, and so that he will only show. So he's going to go ahead and go to our code here, and we're just going to only show when he is in the vent camera. So we're going to go ahead and do our regular stuff here. And instead of doing like when we receive office, we're going to go to when we receive when we receive vent cam up. When vent cam is up, what we're going to do is that what we're going to do is that where he's going to show himself like so. And it just depends on his thing. It just depends on what his AI is and all that. So basically, we're just going to go ahead and go to our office here. To our office. And go ahead and say office here. And this is basically where all his AI is going to do. Before we get to that, though, we're going to go ahead and say when we receive... let me decide that. When we receive the vent cam down, or the vent cam down animation, just vent cam down. Let's just let him hide himself. So we're going to go ahead and duplicate that block and put him right here. So now he will show here, but he won't show when he goes back. Okay, so basically when he shows, we're going to have to make him go to the front layer about way too many times. So we're going to go ahead and do this and make him go to the front layer about 10 times. It should work. We're going to go show, and we're going to repeat it like 50 times. Just the same thing. So that way he just makes sure that he's showing. And first of all, we just want to go ahead and get a mean for it. So you want to like get a separate piece of paper for this. For me, I got a notebook right here. And basically, you want to make sure that you have all the coordinates for the guy. So let's go ahead and write it down. So for me, I'm saying his first position is going to be at negative 149 and negative 89. As you can see, I'm reading from the coordinate plane on the other side. So we can go ahead and say that. And now for our next area, I want him to be up here. So that's going to be at negative 88 and negative 12. All right. Now for the next one, I want him to be here. So we're going to do 54 and negative 13, because that's where that is placed. And for the next one, I want to be him at this corner right here, which is at 59, negative 99. All right, so that's our next coordinate. So our other coordinate is going to be, I want him right here in the middle. And it's going to be 133 and negative 101. And the next one will be 208 and negative 100. 208 and negative 100. And the next one, I want it to be down here in this corner. So we're going to do 209 and negative 188. That's what it shows. And for the next one, I want this to be divided into thirds. So we're going to do this, which is 134 and negative 190. And we're going to do another one right here where it's 60, negative 189. And then we're going to do one in the corner here. It's going to be 20 and negative 189. Then it's going to go up to the corner here. And that's going to be negative 18. Or no, that's regular 18. And negative 101. And we're going to go to the other corner here where that's going to be 67 or negative 67 and negative 98. And then we're going to go to right here, which will be a final position, which is negative 61 and negative 215. So that's basically all our coordinates that we're going to be using. It really just varies on how you have your map set up and how it's like different for mine, but that's how I put it. So we're going to go ahead and say when we receive the office, he's going to hide himself, right? Just to make sure that's all that good. But we're also going to say repeat until we receive. Never mind, not repeat until. We're going to say a forever. We're going to put a forever block in. We're going to forever if blank, then blank, if blank, then blank. You know what I mean. All right. So basically, what's going to happen is that if his AI equals like 1, so basically it's kind of like how we had it the other way. So we're going to go ahead and go to our variables and, we're going to pick sun, right? Then you want to change you want to wait before going to the next thing. So basically what you want to do is you want to wait an amount. So basically what we're going to do here is that we're going to pick a rank. If sun's AI equals 1, then we're going to wait. Like an odd amount of an amount of seconds. So pick random 1 to 10, not 1 to 10. I mean, like we could say, let's go ahead and we're not putting this into motion yet. So let's go ahead and say 100 to 98, and then we'll go down from there. So if sun's AI equals 2, I don't want to put this in motion yet, dude. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this, and let's do 96 to 90. Just variabilize it and make sure that like it's pretty hard when it gets to like 20, because that is the hardest mode. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this and off camera, and yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, so while I was making this, I'm an idiot. So we're also gonna have to go to our motion here, and we're also gonna have to say go to blank and Y. So that's where what we put on our notebook comes into play. So we're gonna say 149 and then negative 89. Okay. And basically what we're gonna do is just duplicate these two blocks and just keep going down the list until we get to the final one, which is gonna take a lot of time. I know it's a very tedious process, but hey. So I'm gonna go off cameras and go ahead and do this. So I'll be right back. All right, guys. So now that we have finished doing this code, as you can see, it's going to be pretty long since you have to do it for every single thing. We can go ahead and test it out. So we're going to put sun at 20 or your vent character at 20 and then go press play. And the vent camera should work. And oh no. So a big problem that you can gain from this, if it shows up like that, is that when you're going to start this whole program, you want to go ahead and set it to its original position, which is 149 and 89. As you can see, it's pretty laggy because of the long code. It's going to be like that. So now we can go ahead and full screen this, and we can go ahead and see what happens. So we can see it already jumped from here to here. And then in about 14 to 16 seconds or whatever set amount of seconds you put it as, it's going to move here. Yep, and you see it moves. So it's going to keep moving until it gets to here, where it's going to broadcast a jump scare if you don't have your vent door open. So let's go ahead and actually dissect this code here. So the code I use is pretty lengthy. I mean, like, it's not the best way. I'm pretty sure there's another best way, but I didn't really pick it. It's basically where it says it's going to pick a random amount of seconds depending on what your variable is. So, like, if you set sun to 1 in the main menu, then it's going to be, it's AI, it's going to be choosing from 100 to 98 seconds, and then it's going to go to a different time or to a different position. All right. So, basically what we can expect from here is that it's just going to keep doing that until it gets to your door, which then we would go all the way down here. It's going to take me a second. Where we go all the way down here where it says if the X position and Y position is to the final position and the vent door is not closed, then it's going to jump scare you unless it's going to go back and try to do it all over again. And that's basically pretty much it for the AI. It's pretty simple, but it's really lengthy. All right, so now that we've finished that, we can go ahead and stop the project. And we can go to our paint to create the sun jump scare. This will be the final thing that I do in this video, the jump scare. And the jump scare is pretty much like everything else, like Moon's jump scare or Shadow's jump scare. It's the same thing. It's just basically where we're going to take Sun's AI and we're just going to make him scary. Or make him mad, angry, all that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to jump cut to where I have finished that. Okay. All right, so now that we finished that, we can go ahead and go to our code, and it's pretty much the same thing as everything else. But the only thing that I'm going to change about it is just where it's located, because if you could see here, if I go to my costumes, it's going to start from the vent, and then he's going to keep growing out of the vent to come and jump scare me, like so. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set him at a certain area, and then we're going to go ahead and say to hide him when the green flag is clicked, so that way he wouldn't show, so like that. And that when the broadcast of Sun's jump scare, which is right here, not Shadow, sorry, Sun's jump scare shows, then we're going to go ahead and show it. Make sure it's at the right place by setting it to 2102 for me, but it depends on where your vent is. And then we're going to go ahead and go to our repeat block, and we're also going to do some math here. And then x, which is 8, 8 minus 1, 7. So 7 times we're going to repeat this into the next costume. And to go to the front layer, we're gonna have to do that so that way it just doesn't hide between any other players. So if we go ahead and let's go ahead and hide our variable of vendor as a current. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and set this to play, and we're gonna go ahead and go to our vent here. Actually, sorry, we have to set sun to 20 here, and then let's go ahead and go to our thing, then press our thing here. It should show the sun jump scare as soon as it's good. So let's go ahead and check it out. And also what we want to do here at the broadcast area on the bottom, we want to broadcast I did that on accident. That's my fault. So I'm going to go ahead and set sun to 20, click play, go to our event. I'm just going to keep watching that. But while we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and go to our sun's jump scare. And basically in the broadcast area, we want to show the game over screen. So that way, every time any animatronic is ever doing something, then we can go ahead and stop. Like when he's being jump scared, the player's jump scared, he'll be brought to the game over screen. So let's go ahead and see this. So he's already there. And now we wait until he gets to the next area. All right, so I'm going to cut to when he gets to the final area.
Okay, so now that we're near the ending here, we're just going to wait until he gets to the final position, which should be right now. And now, what it's going to do is going to wait 10 seconds, and since my vent door is not closed, he should be popping out from there. Let's go ahead and wait until that happens. Okay, so there's some sort of problem going on right now where I guess he can't really show himself. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can define the problem. See if we can try to find the problem here. Okay, so I can't really seem to find a problem here other than that might be just a glitch in the system. So we're going to go ahead and just see what happened. Maybe it's just we have to, yeah. Now let's go ahead and trim this down a bit to 5 seconds. So that's so that way it just doesn't go back to the top, and make sure that it's all good. So we're going to go ahead and wait here unless we're impatient, like I am. I know I am. And we're going to go ahead and set this negative 67 and then negative 98. And click on it. So now he's here. Now he should wait. Or unless he goes back here, which, yeah, I think that's very reasonable. So we're going to go ahead and wait here and see what happens. I'll cut to that. Okay, so it has worked. So I guess it was just a glitch. So it should work. The code should work. I guess it's just being a little bit finicky. So we're going to go ahead and just say all that is done. So an overview of the whole entire project is pretty much we figured out Sun's AI and we did Moon's AI and their jump scare. We also made a vent camera with vent cam buttons, and that's pretty much it. So before we go, I want to try one more thing with you guys and say that when you have all these things happening and when you receive all these jump scares. So we're going to go ahead and go to our office here and just do all this when we receive the moon jump scare, when we receive the sun jump scare, the shadow jump scare, and the sun jump scare. I did say that twice. It's going to go ahead and hide it for all of them. And it's going to hide all of them. Like that. So when it happens, it's going to hide everything. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for our camera. We're going to do the same thing for our camera. Animation. We're going to do the same thing for this. We're going to do the same thing for pretty much everything. Do the same thing for vent camera and their buttons and all that. So just to show it. But you don't really have to do that if you don't want to. So it's all right. So that will conclude today's tutorial. I hope y'all enjoyed it so much. If you guys do like it, I mean, like, it's your choice, but you can like the video and subscribe while you're at it so you don't miss another one. But yeah, I'll be back in about a week or so. And yeah, have a good day.